So this is one that we've got to get out of the way first. The Avatar Battle Royale, Aang vs. Korra. This is going to be a pretty complicated one considering the fact that both have largely the same power set and both are incredibly awesome. Let's start with Aang. Aang starts out the series as a master airbender, even by airbender standards. He's quick, versatile, and incredibly efficient with his airbending. From there, he gains skills in earthbending, firebending, and waterbending, but I'm not sure I'd say that he was a true master. That's not really an insult though, considering he had to learn all three within a year, while also contending with the Fire Lord and his crazy kids. He also learns how to use the Avatar state, which provides an insane boost to his powers. Though this power is not one we see him gain true mastery of in the course of the series. Korra, on the other hand, is shown to have an affinity for almost all four forms of bending from an early age. She then trains her entire childhood being trained in the other bending arts until she is good enough to compete as a pro bender. Her airbending skills never really get on that Aang level, but she masters it eventually.
I can airbend!
Korra also masters the Avatar state, though she also has some struggles with the power. Perhaps one of the biggest assets that Korra has over Aang is that she can also metal bend. That wasn't quite as popular a thing in Aang's time, seeing as Toph just invented it. Ultimately, I think I'm gonna have to give this one to Korra. In a lot of ways, she has an unfair advantage. She actually got to train to be the Avatar without a giant global conflict ruining her early years. Not only that, but she benefited from the advances made in Aang's time, such as metal bending. Truly though, Aang is not a fighter at heart. He's a pacifist who would much rather be otter penguin sledding than fighting any day. Korra's the one who's got that Kyoshi energy. She'll fight you all day. If Avatar fans aren't debating about who would win between Aang and Korra, they're probably debating over who would win between Toph and Kuvira. These two are the toughest, meanest earthbenders in the series. This one's gonna be close. Toph in her prime was a true earthbending prodigy. Not only did she discover how to use earthbending to overcome her blindness, but she also created the art of metal bending. This little powerhouse was so strong that she took down professional benders like they were houseflies. Then there's Kuvira, who took the whole metal bending thing and ran with it. We see quite a few metal benders in Legend of Korra, but Kuvira outshines them all. She's lethal, fast, and a master strategist. Ultimately, Toph is going to win this one. The fight will be extremely close, but Toph was an earthbending genius, and she has proven her skills are unmatched, even by someone as precise and brilliant as Kuvira. Avatar: The Last Airbender was pretty upfront that there would be only one airbender in the entire series. That's why it was so cool when Korra changed all the rules by awakening a whole mess of airbenders. The best of those was undoubtedly Zahir. This has led fans to speculate about Aang versus Zahir ever since. There's good reason for this too. Zahir was able to master skills that even master airbenders were unable to. Most notably, he could fly without the use of a glider. He was a cunning warrior who was able to defeat master benders despite only having access to his airbending for a short time. So, could he take down Aang? Come on, guys, of course not! Zahir was pretty awesome, but Aang was the greatest of all time. Even without the other elements and the Avatar state, Aang would take Zahir to class on airbending. I don't know if this would even be a fight so much as a brutal takedown. There is perhaps no showdown that I would love to see more than Korra taking on the ultimate love-to-hate-her character, Azula. In my opinion, no one ever took down Azula like she deserved. Though Katara does get points for outsmarting her in the last episode like a boss. We've already gone over Avatar Korra's many talents, so let's focus on Azula's. She is a true firebending prodigy. Her blue fire and mastery over lightning bending prove that she is among the greatest firebenders in franchise history. Strangely enough, that's not even her greatest skill. No, the most impressive Azula moment comes on the day of Black Sun, when she doesn't even have firebending. She was able to manipulate Team Avatar so well that she kept Aang from defeating the Fire Lord simply by playing on their emotions. So with that, it pains me to say Azula would beat Korra. I know. I also want to see Korra beat Azula up. You just have to admit that Korra's hot-headed attitude would be so easy for Azula to manipulate. If she could take on the original Team Avatar without any bending, Korra would be a cakewalk. Legend of Korra started things off with one of the creepiest villains of the entire series, Amon. This bad guy led a massive army of equalists, could take people's bending away, and he was a master bloodbender. We saw him take down several elite benders with nothing but his swift moves and expert martial arts skill. So how would a creepy monster like Amon fare against someone like Katara? Not too well. Look, there is no debating whether or not Amon was a skilled warrior, but Katara would slap Amon around so hard that his daddy Yakone would feel it in the spirit world. Like Amon, she also possessed the ability to bloodbend, not that she liked to use it. So I'm pretty sure that someone like Amon would induce a special kind of rage in Katara. I don't know about you, but I would not want to be the one on the receiving end of Katara's rage. That rarely goes well for people. Okay, Avatar: The Last Airbender is a true masterpiece. I doubt anyone who's watching this video would contest that. Still, I do have one complaint. How did Iroh and Ozai not have a scene together? Not only would that have been an incredible moment for both characters, but we could have potentially had voice actors Mako and Mark Hamill playing off against each other. Luke Skywalker / the Joker and freaking Aku in the same scene. As far as their skills go, both represent the peaks of two different schools of firebending. Ozai takes all of his power from rage. He has explosive fire blasts and lightning that stem from his cold, broken heart. Iroh, on the other hand, learned from the dragons how to firebend the true way. Without rage and pride blocking him, he was able to learn new skills such as lightning redirection. His power was nowhere near Ozai's, but his wisdom far surpassed his younger brother's. This would probably be the fastest takedown in Avatar history. Knowing Ozai, he probably would go straight for a lightning blast to quickly take his brother out. Iroh would then take the lightning and redirect it back into Ozai, finishing this as quickly as it started. There are no characters in Avatar who deserve to get taken out like Azula and Kuvira. Both of these conquerors are ruthless, merciless, and among the most brilliant benders of their age. That being said, only one could make it out. So how would the master manipulator, fire and lightning bending daughter of the Phoenix King measure up against the metal bending, giant robot making leader of the Earth Empire? Well, I think that this would end up being a pretty close match. Both of them are tactical geniuses, incredibly skilled benders, and lethal adversaries. In the end, I think Kuvira might manage to take it. Azula's skill might match Kuvira's in many ways, but I think her manipulations would utterly fail to deter Kuvira like they do Zuko, Aang, and the rest. The princess may present a cold demeanor, but beneath that is serious mental instability that shows itself when things don't go her way. Once Kuvira spots this weakness, she just played until she takes Azula down. In the showdown between the two most cunning enemies of the series, I think Kuvira wins. One of the coolest things about Avatar is how the franchise manages to have fun with the non-bending characters in the series. Characters like Suki and Asami show that you don't need to be able to move giant rocks to be cool, so it almost pains me to ask which one of them would win in a fight. Both of these ladies are strong warriors. Despite living in a bender's world, both managed to prove themselves multiple times using unconventional weapons. Suki was trained in Kyoshi-style fan martial arts with the other Kyoshi warriors. Meanwhile, Asami was trained in physical combat while also employing a specialized glove that was essentially a one-hit KO. Any matchup between the two would be quite the close call. Ultimately, though, I think Suki wins this one. While Asami definitely showed some skills, Suki was a warrior at heart. Here we are at the ultimate Avatar Agni Kai. Our two main firebenders, Zuko and Mako, are here and ready to throw down. This is a pretty difficult one, seeing as Zuko and Mako are both extremely similar characters and fighters. They both have a hot-headed attitude coupled with a good sense for battle. Mako could have an edge considering the fact that he can shoot lightning, but Zuko can redirect it. Zuko also has those blue spirit ninja skills, but Mako is a pro-bending champ. That's why I think this one will be the only tie I give. Once they realize that they are evenly matched, I think the two would resolve to end the match as a show of respect for each other's skills. This is one of those fights that seemed inevitable in this series, but never actually happened. Sokka and Jet were originally slated to be rivals, but Aang was the one who had the showdown with him. Sure, Sokka outsmarted him, but Jet never got the boomerang in the face that we all know he deserved. In the actual first episode featuring Jet, he was obviously more skilled than Sokka. This was still relatively early in Sokka's journey, so that matchup would not have gone his way. However, if we're looking at Book 3 Sokka, that's an entirely different matter. This Sokka trained in the art of the sword from one of the greatest masters, Piandao. While Sokka wasn't exactly Piandao's most conventional student, he was able to become a worthy swordsman. If we're counting both characters at their peak, Sokka would definitely beat Jet.